teenagers are going to have sex.
Yeah. The thing is, they're going to do it no matter what we do. Put it on mom to make decisions. So.
I know what I did. That's why it's hard. Nothing good happens after midnight.
The most important factor to a healthy well-being is feeling connected. Welcome to From There to Here,
a safe place where we will explore some of life's adventures so that you do not feel alone.
Good morning, Vietnam! It's Jess and Ben doing a Steal the Mic, and a little bit of a change up today. We're early in the morning doing this instead of later in the afternoon, so there will be no cracking of beers to start the episode.
Just some coffee.
Just some coffee.
All right, well, first of all, thanks, and I guess we jump right into it with our heart lens.
Yeah, do you want to go first?
I got a good one.
All right, let me hear it.
We took Jude and his brother to the very first Brewer game, and it was a glorious 99 degrees in the sun, roof wide open.
Sun baking on
Let's just say for part of the, let's say, 7th, 8th inning, I was shading Jude with my hands as he was sitting in the crumb of peanuts and popcorn, and it was awesome. We had first row seats right behind the dugout.
Oh, that's awesome.
Had a big credit from COVID, so instead of taking 10 people, we took us 4, and
nice.
Jude's brother took him to his first game.
Oh, it was his first game too?
His first game.
Nice.
First game, Jess and I didn't have beer.
Well, good
that
job.
was not in
Proud
my Heartlands. That part's not in the Heartlands.
I'm pretty proud of you there. That's pretty good. It's hard to go to a Brewer game and not have a beer, I can tell you that.
Great
Especially
game,
with
though.
peanuts. Yeah.
Great game. Finished with a win. We made it through the whole game.
Yeah, they're playing pretty well, yeah.
That's
awesome.
I will say the pitch clock, awesome. Awesome for family and kids.
Yeah. We actually have not been to a game yet, so I think I just said something to Shannon the other day. Hey, we should get to a Brewer game with the kids, but we'll see if that happens or not. My heart lens actually is kind of weird, but it's a photo, and I know that's not appropriate for a radio to talk about photos because people can't see them, but I'm sure Shannon could post it on her page or website or whatever. But it's a photo of my two boys, twin boys. It's a school photo, and they're just kind of standing there holding each other's arm around.
I don't recognize those boys.
Exactly. It's kind of like, whoa, they do totally love each other.
They're dressed up. They're sweet looking. Are they Proshes for sure?
Yeah, right.
Is that through a filter?
Right. So, yeah, I'll just put that for more stuff for Shannon and put it on the website. People want to see it. But it just hit my heart to see that photo, so that's in my heart lens.
Speaking of website, follow the podcast From There to Here on Instagram, Facebook. The website is podcastfromtheretohere.net. So get on there, subscribe, hit like, smash that like button, all the likes and follows.
Do all that good stuff. All right, so our topic today is sounds like sex. If you're gonna let your child have their boyfriend, girlfriend sleep over, I guess in the high school timeline. This is now being a dad, this answer has probably changed a bunch. But me and Shannon kind of talked about it a little bit. But I was listening to the girls on their podcast talk about. I think they told me it was a pukey thought because, of course, my daughter is not allowed to. My boys go get them, But in truth, it is a tough topic, but I think as I became a dad, the thing is they're going to do it no matter what we do. It's either they're going to, be honest about it or they're going to hide it from you. So I think that determines on how hard you stop. You know what I mean? How hard you are in trying to stop them. You're going to get that rebel. You know what I mean? In my mindset,
it's a tough one. I'm just gut feeling. I'm just going to say no.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first thought.
But Jess is going to probably have everybody here, and she's going to make me put a big fire on and do everything else. So it would probably be here. So at least, at least they'll be outside and let me go to sleep at like 9 p.m. and so you can deal with it. Or they can deal with her more likely than her deal with them.
That was my other mindset. Just kind of put it on mom to make decisions. So if anything goes wrong, I can blame her. But
Well, she's gonna make that decision anyway.
Yeah, no, just
So
kidding.
do we? Hold on. Why are we even doing this? Do we have a say?
Yeah, right. So that is the yeah. Do we like? Is there really? Does it matter?
We'll just have a podcast after the fact and
Right.
talk about
Like, you're not gonna believe
how
what
we were
Shannon
right.
did. Yeah, but no. I mean, my mindset now like is you. I guess I'd want it at my house if I were to say yes, because you do have that control a little bit. Whereas, I mean, my feeling is if I no, there's going to be that rebel of, oh yeah, we'll watch this. Like Shannon said, like they just run out to the car on their podcast. You weren't going to stop them. But I feel like the more you do try to, they're going to try to, you know what I mean? It's like a challenge to them now.
I think teenagers are gonna have sex.
Yeah, that's the thing.
They're gonna do stuff like that. They're gonna experiment
Right.
with alcohol and everything else.
Mhm.
My feelings is don't make it easy for them.
Right.
There's probably the way our schedule is. We're probably gonna have something to do anyway. So he's
Right,
gonna have to.
right.
Jude's gonna have to be back home, by who knows what time, so we can go
He's going to have
boating
that
or
itinerary
go
mom-
whatever. I don't know.
The itinerary mom puts together for him.
I'm a believer. If I had to take a side on this, is no, I don't like the co-ed sleepovers. I don't like sleepovers in general, just because I know what I ran around and did.
Well, that's the problem.
And we
yeah.
always had it it was Ashley's house, and
Right.
we'd fill the bathtub up with ice and beer, and there's a trampoline, a pool, a hot tub, and a lot of mischief. We were allowed by the parents as long as we didn't, the keys went in a
Right.
bowl and nobody left. But guess what?
Things happen.
I drove. I had a
you
spare key. Like I don't know.
Ain't nobody holding down the hurricane right there.
It's man. I know what I did. That's why it's hard to.
And I think that opens up a big. So in high school, like I was kind of surprised to hear Shannon. It's like high school, they pretty much could do whatever they want. It sounded like. So my family really didn't have any rules on me, but my high school girlfriend's family, that was no. You're out of here at
Yeah.
8, 9 o'clock, blah blah, which is good. But I think that's the hard part you bring up is we know what we would have done, and I think that's where we need to. I think this question is more of we need to learn and accept that it's going to happen. You know what I mean?
But there's a difference between it's going to happen, it's going to happen under my roof and my watch. So like,
But it's never going to happen on your watch, though.
No girlfriend, no boyfriends in the bedrooms. You're going to stay in the living room.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You're not going to spend the night. You're going to be,
Right.
I had
I
a
agree with that.
midnight curfew, which I always stretched.
Right.
I think curfew is a good thing, but who knows with now? Like
I like
back then, there was so much more trust because they gave the keys to
Well,
the car,
right,
and there's no
right.
GPS, there's no phones, there's no nothing. So
Right.
that was blind trust.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so different today raising kids too, because you have phones, you got all this stuff, so they can all find out where each other are.
I'm more scared about that than
no doubt.
a sleepover. I'm more worried about what you can punch into that phone and
That's true.
who they're talking to, what are they watching.
Right.
That's a lot scarier, but
I do like your. I think I agree with you. Like, I think that I would say, let's use an example. It's Brielle. Okay. Obviously, that day hopefully will never come, but I know it will. I'm just fighting it as a dad, and that's my princess. But I think if that was when it was reality, it's going to happen, blah, blah, whatever. And she asked, I think I like your idea. If it is a sleepover, it's in the living room, separate couches, whatever. Do as much as I can do to control it, but show her too that I still
no
trust
side by
her.
side in a bed.
Right, and not in a closed door room, whatever. I mean, but I want to make sure that she knows I trust her. So you got to give them something, So I think that's a whatever you want to call it, a compromise there. Yes, you can in the living room, separate couches, whatever.
I do recall a few where our friends had campers, and you're going out, you're sleeping in the tent. You have separate tents or whatever it is. Like, that was BS, but
Right.
at least, like, it's not, hey, you know what? I guess on that note,
Right.
teenagers aren't supposed to be in beds.
No, yeah.
They're supposed to be on bleachers in the back of a pickup truck.
Right. I mean, you're kind of taking out all the fun part of it.
Hey, there you go. It's,
That was
hey,
all
kid,
the excitement.
go have some fun.
Yeah.
You'll be in a
Right.
bed later
Cornfield,
for your
wherever.
30s and 40s and all
Yeah.
that.
I agree. I mean,
It's
we gotta
more
look
fun when you got to work for it.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I think we're ruining it by making it so easy.
On that note, I stand by it. No sleepovers. Get out there.
Go earn it. That's probably what I'll tell the boys. Yeah. But it's funny that you do think of it. I mean, obviously you have Jude, but picture yourself having a daughter and a boy. You totally look at it two different ways as a dad. I know it's probably whatever they said, pukey idea, whatever the girls call me for, but I'm sorry. I just do, because I feel like, maybe it's because I'm a male.
They can't understand
And I know
that.
what my male's heads are like at that time.
Both heads?
So I'm going to be thinking, Brielle, you don't know what this kid's thinking, and I do. I'm just trying to protect you.
I'm the expert. You're not.
Right, yeah. But it's funny that, and I don't know why we do, but we do look at it. I mean, I shouldn't say we. I do tend to look at it a little bit differently with Brielle than I would with the boys. I don't know why. It doesn't make a lot of sense,
I think if you raise them right and they get to the teenage years, they're going to rebel regardless. How much are they going to rebel?
Yeah.
And if you put the right thoughts in their head, you hope and pray they're going to do the right thing.
Yeah, and that's part of me too.
And when you do it, you're going to do it smart. You're not going to be dumb.
Right. But it's kind of like, that's where that's fine line of, do you be their friend? You have to be a parent and a friend kind of thing, but you want to make it so that they can come to you and feel they can be honest and not get screamed at or yelled
Hey, Dad,
at.
can I have my girlfriend over and have sex tonight? No.
Right.
Answer's no.
Right. So you want to kind of make sure that door is open, that they will be honest with you and they feel they can be honest with you, and you're not going to tear their heads off or something. But then you also have to make sure that you're the parent. You know what I mean? It's just it's a fine line to battle, because if you're too hard, they're just going to not tell you about what they're doing and do it behind your back. But if you can get them to be honest with you and somehow still be able to teach and be parent, I think that's the fine line everybody tries to find, because I do want my sons or my daughter to come to me and be like, hey, Dad, this happened. I just want to tell you about it. So then you can give them the advice that you have. I think I want that more than I would want finding out later that they did it without asking. And then you are mad. So I think having that relationship, finding a way to have that relationship where they'll come to you and ask that question, let's say, instead of hiding things from you, is like, that's my goal. Like, to have that relationship with my kids where they feel comfortable coming to me with anything, like drugs, if that popped up at a party, or, sex, but feel comfortable enough to come talk and not be scared that they're going to get yelled at, like the old school.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm trying to do, is make sure that I have that relationship where I can still parent, but they feel good coming to me about stuff. I think that's the ticket. But
one thing I'm excited going into parenthood later in life is you get to see how a lot of your friends do it first versus when you're young, you just have your parents. And, there's a mom answer and there's a dad answer. Usually it never got to Dad. Usually Dad didn't know about it. Thank you, Mom.
Yeah, no, that's true.
But later in life now, you see a lot of friends go through it, and how my sister, obviously, her son just graduated, so she's going to have 2 of the 3 out of the house.
That's right, yeah.
So seeing what she went through, taking notes in the back of my head. But yeah, it's a tough one, and culture is always changing. Things are always changing.
Well, right.
The world's a different place than when me and you are.
Oh, God, tell me about it.
It's technology and everything else, and just the way the kids are. But at the end of the day, I don't want to say boys will be boys, because that triggers a lot of people. Doesn't mean that, but kids will go have fun. They're gonna be mischievous. They're gonna be curious.
Right.
They're gonna go have fun. Like you said, you just want them to communicate somewhat. They're not going to be fully open as much as I think the girls want, but you just want them to feel comfortable when something does come up. They're not going to get their head bit off, grounded, whatever, for just maybe asking a question or bringing something up.
And I think that's a team thing too, is because there's going to be things. If Shannon can figure out, and I can figure out to have that relationship with our kids, you're right. There's things that Brielle will go to mom and say that she's probably not going to.
You can be on the same page, but
we both
different
will
levels,
know. Right? But when we go to bed at night, we can talk about. You know what I mean? One of us will find out. Like the boys will come to me with certain stuff. They won't go to mom. But if we can both build that comfortability with our children, that they're going to go to one of us. And I think that's the ticket, to be honest with you. But and like you just said about the kids, raising kids today, it's just so different. Like the iPads, we have an issue with our boys and their addiction to iPads. And Shannon goes, "What do we do about this?" I'm like, "I have no idea. This is new. Like, this is not something that, there's a book about or we grew up with. Like, I have no idea. These things are, I'm not big
on that note, there's a page Jess and some friends told me to follow, parenting tips or something like that, and it's all that, like, kids will find ways around time limits. They'll find ways around sleepovers. They'll find ways around everything because that's what they do.
Right. That's the game to them. They're like, okay, watch this.
That's it. As much as you want to control other things, and I think I married someone who likes to control a lot. Control the schedule, control the calendars. No, you want that, but kids will always find a way. And sleepovers it's not a black and white thing.
No.
They're going to have sleepovers. They're going to sneak out. They're going to go to the parents' house where it's a little more lenient.
Right.
They're going to find a way. The boys will be in one house. The girls will be down the road. It'll be something. So you have to be, you can't just turn a blind eye to it.
Right.
It's going to happen. I think Jess will always be the one that says, "Hey, let's just have them stay here." And we're trying to build our house and the feeling of we want the kids here. Yeah. She wants a pool because then the kids come here.
Well, that's I have a friend of mine that's at their house was the house. And I'm like, "Dude, why do you want to deal with all that?" He goes, they're here. I can always keep an eye on them. It's either my house, somebody else's house, and I'd rather be my house. Like, it made sense after they said it, but I think the thing about it is it's more of, I think, us as parents learning to accept it. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, so Brielle wants to start riding her bike places in town, and I'm having a hard time with it because today's different than it used to be. We used to turn street lights went out, you went home. But there's things going on in this country, in this world right now that you have no control over, and it's not fair to Brielle, but I'm scared to let her go ride a bike too far.
Well, drivers are on their phones a lot more.
Yeah, that and the things that are going on that, with kids being abducted, whatever, it scares the heck out of me, and it's not fair to her. So we're right now kind of working on me starting to get comfortable with her going around the block, but I think those are the steps. And this is one of those things too, like we both said, it's going to happen, but you have to accept that you can't completely control your children. They're not robots. Like, they're going to do things that are not going to make you happy, but they're going to make you very proud at certain times too. But it's almost like a part of parenting and learning how to be okay with that. You know what I mean? Let go of control a little bit, which I have a horrible time doing, and, let them be kids. You don't want to ruin that either, like, you don't want to ruin their childhood because you're a strict, stern, you know what I mean?
If you're strict with the reins, at some point the reins come off.
Yeah.
And then you get a wild child.
Yeah.
And I have plenty of friends I know back in high school that had those parents, only to find out those parents were the really wild ones.
Right.
And that's why they...
Exactly.
And that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm like, I know what I did, but...
Yeah, that's what...
But you don't want to be, hippie fest and loosey goosey on everything either, because
there's a fine line, that's for sure. I mean, but I think with me and you, the way we grew up, what things that we did, we know that our mentality is, we got to make sure they don't.
My fear is not the sex side of it, because that's always been there. That's a human thing.
Natural. Yeah.
The scary part of it is probably more the drugs.
Yeah.
Given
alcohol and drugs. Yeah.
Alcohol and drugs, but the heroin, the fentanyl,
the stuff that's out there today that's laced, way different than it was.
That's what scares me. more time in front of peers, usually more alcohol, more other things with overnights. That leads to scary place. I just had a buddy 1 year younger than me passed away this past week.
Oh, no.
I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a heart thing. I don't know if it was a drug thing. I don't know if it was don't know what it was, but he was 40. And then I talked to a buddy about it, and he goes, "Oh yeah, and Jimmy passed away too. He OD'd too." He goes, "What's going on in this world?" And my buddy's like, "I got 5 of them. I'm scared about that of it." So that's probably the bigger piece that I'm worried about than teenagers running off to the backseat of a car.
Yeah, and maybe we just started a whole new podcast.
There we go
about that. But no, I agree with you 110% on that. That's something when we grew up. It's there.
It's opportunity and time away from parents.
Yeah.
Nothing good happens after midnight.
And you make a good point. Sometimes maybe the idea of having it at your house all the time isn't the greatest, because maybe that's what they're looking for, is us to trust them away from us. Like you just said, time away from parents. Maybe that's what they're searching for. Like, I want to be away from you guys and be able to go do things and have you trust me. You know what I mean? So maybe that's another way to look at it. Having it at your house every time might not be the right answer either, because then the kid might.
I never
feel
thought it through that
trapped.
lens of they're seeking trust,
but they might still feel like, oh, my parents are always trying to control me, and I have to be here. I can't be with my friends. There's just so many different angles to look at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's so tough. Like I said, there's no book on this parenting thing, but.
Well, there are a lot of books, but they're all wrong.
There's no point to reading it. But I think, you got to trust your gut, have that relationship with your children. That fine line we're talking about, find it close to it as you can.
Jess actually gave me a book for communicating with a toddler. And that's leading to better, more trusting, more connection.
Oh, really?
Getting them, just try not to use, the no all the time.
Yeah.
And that's true whether it's a toddler or a teenager. I actually have now adopted the term three-nager because I am tested with the three-nager.
I bet.
I think I would. Whoever said terrible twos, the twos are awesome.
Yeah. It's
the three-nager.
It keeps going, man.
So I think just communicating and learning to communicate.
Yeah.
And that will lead to
and them feeling comfortable coming to you about
exactly
things. Yeah, I think that's the ticket. So I guess to answer the question, would I let my children do that? I like your theory of, if it's going to happen, yes, it can be at our house, in the living room, separate couches kind of thing. Mindset. No closed room, no bed. Giving you a little bit of leash, a little bit of trust.
A little bit of leash, and then I don't want to say strict curfew, but a curfew.
Right.
Knowing there's an end to it, because nothing good happens after midnight.
Yes, that is very true. Very true.
My sister brought it up as well, as if you stay the night and have a sleepover, you don't want kids driving. Teenagers driving alone is just scary, whether it's noon or midnight. It's very scary because, well, they're teenagers. But you mix in bar time with adult drivers also making dumb decisions.
Yeah.
Dumb decisions all around. Do you want teenagers driving?
You don't want them on the road at those times, no.
So I don't know. So many factors that go into. I'm gonna punt. I got 10 years.
I'm gonna put this one on Jess.
I got 10 years to figure this out.
Yeah, I think Shannon might be surprised by my answer, but I mean that's the other part of it too. Is you're married, you gotta agree with each other on this one. It's not like you can just like, oh yeah, I'm good with it, and then you're like, no, wait a minute, no. So there's got to be a fine line or equal.
There's no hard red line. It's who are their friends. What decisions are they making, Monday through Friday?
Right.
Schoolwork.
Yeah.
Are they an angel or is it a little devil?
Right.
There's
a lot of factors.
One solution doesn't fit every family, every child. Within the, you have 3 kids. I'm sure the answer is going to be different for, and you got twins. Like one twin, yes. The other twin, no.
Let's see how that goes over it.
But
no, I agree with you. Yeah. It's different for everybody. That's for sure. I think, you're right. It's not one good answer for every child.
I guess the girls would love to hear your feedback on the socials.
Yeah.
Share your stories. Share how you handle it, because there's not one correct answer. And maybe others want to hear from other people besides Ben and I.
Yeah.
And our no answer, kind of. So
I don't know if I'm the person to take advice from. Well, I guess we got to do you have a quote?
Let's go with your quote, and I'm going to follow it up. I got one that's related.
All right. I grabbed a Michael Jordan quote because I idolized Michael Jordan growing up. His quote was, "I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." I love that quote because it's so true, because in every failure, you learn something.
One Friday or Saturday night, you're going to let them go for a sleepover. That's going to be a failure. The next week, you're going to come home
from it. Hey, and it's going to make it easier to tell them no the next time. Remember last time I let you do that? You couldn't handle it, so
you're flexible. I'll add one on that. Michael Jordan, same theme. Nike.
Oh yeah,
just do it.
Oh, there you go.
just do it. The teenagers are going to do it anyway.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
Whatever you're feeling in your heart on that, when that decision's made, just do it and walk away.
That answers that. Boom.
All right. Have a good one. Like, subscribe, smash those thumbs up buttons, whatever it is, and appreciate you tuning in.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Thank you for listening and being a part of our community. Please follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
If you'd like to connect, we can be reached at podcastfromtheretohere@gmail.com. We hope you continue on this journey with us.